I'm writing a paper on environmental issues for my environmental biology class. So first off, the first start gathering some research before I actually get down to the paper. I I pull up any search engine, even though I always use Google, and I start just searching up any websites or articles I can find that speak on anything related to environmental issues, whether it be climate change or global warming. This first link from environmental problems from earthsharing.org seems pretty good. It's .org, and since it focuses on multiple things, on problems happening in the earth. They have let's see, they have links for ideas, their blog, and a newsletter. Usually when I'm searching, I see a lot of options, so I just open multiple tabs and see which are the best. There's this one page from the globalissues.org, which is solely on global issues. This specific article focuses on biodiversity and how it's affected by environmental issues. And I'm gonna save this link so in case I forget it or anything. Saving links by putting them in favorites and whatnot is the best way I keep up with my sources. If they're like a book or anything, I just write down the title somewhere. If I'm required to find a source that's not electronic, like a physical or printed source, I go to the library or Google a book that covers the issue. Let's see, greenliving.com. This is 30 environmental concerns, and since these are actually quite common and well known, and a lot of them, I'm going to save this link by favoriting it. And since I'm sure I'm going to use this link, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy the URL and paste it into the document for the paper later, so it's going to be there when I cite it. Speaking of, when I'm citing, usually I'm required to go into an MLA format for the paper and an MLA format for citing. Usually, usually I just go in an easy bib because it's that simple for making citations, and you can just copy and paste them and integrate them into a Word document. Uh, Sometimes I have to Google how to correctly cite my sources because I sometimes forget. I'm narrowing my search down, so I'm making it specifically about how it affects humans, because usually we take certain issues more seriously when it directly affects us. And here there's a couple of links that mention humans. And this link right here says overpopulation causes an environmental issue. This link in specific says, environmental issues affecting urban America. So, a lot of people live in urban areas. And environmental issues affecting urban areas will affect them and their way of life. So, that's gonna probably influence them to change it. So, um, environmental issues also affect animals. I'm looking at the website from the World Wild World Wildlife Federation. And the specific article lists the threats, problems affecting species. Right, for instance, and forests are cut down, the trees are cut down, the wildlife don't have homes, they eventually die out. That will eventually affect us. Cutting down the trees, they produce oxygen, and that's for the ozone layer. That's also affecting humans. And if species die out and eventually become extinct, that will eventually turn around and really affect us. This article right here lists some current environment issues. This mentions many types of pollution, climate change, global warming, the list goes on. But the general point of this article is that eventually this may curb human existence. Not only human existence, but probably planet existence too. The World Wildlife Federation mentioned how the ice is melting and the animals that live in the Arctic regions, they are starting to die out from that. It's really affecting them. I'm going to try looking at some articles on environmental effects, scholarly articles to be exact. Looking at scholarly articles to be specific, in case the professor wants peer-reviewed sources or academic sources. And sometimes they may want more recently published journals. This website right here has a lot of scholarly journals, and in the environment section there's a long list. There are articles on conserving, managing, ethics hazards. But the good part of this paper will go to not only talking about environmental issues, but how we can prevent and resolve them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a new search on environmental conservation. And here's the EPA. They're all about protecting the environment.